Have you ever heard of Kona coffee? It's one of the most famous coffees in the world. Here to sample, let's get drinking. And again, the true beauty of nature Hawaii. Look how clear this water is. It is just like, you see these yellow bits? Those are little fish. Crazy, literally like glass. Amazing that that's water, you know, a foot or two deep. Prime rib actually looking delicious. Pork ribs looking interesting. Supposed to be an espresso barbecue sauce. And a marlin pico crusted. Looks pretty good.
Flashback.
All right, it is morning Kona. That's what morning it is, guys. Day 5 of Hawaii out of 6. Crazy. Day about 10 of this cruise. Crazy. We're here having some non-Kona coffee. So Kona, the Hawaiian island, is very well known for its coffee, being world famous Kona coffee. You might have heard that name before. So here we have non-Kona coffee, which we'll reference later in the day when we try Kona coffee. So besides that, it looks nice and sunny. It looks, well, at least partly sunny, partly beautiful. I'll say it's not raining, which is a great start. And yeah, so I don't know what really is on this island besides it's one of the islands just still growing. Apparently they had a big eruption a couple years ago. They have lava still setting, whatever that means. And let's go see Kona. And the sun is out and we're on our tender. And we're about to, which is a little boat from the big boat because there's no big port. So we're about to head on in. And we made it to Kona, and like, look, the water's blue because it's sunny out. Look, it's very clear. It actually looks gorgeous. There's people swimming right here with the ships in the harbor. Interesting, but wow, look, this is Hawaii with the sun is really nice. All right, guys, we are heading. We got some beautiful water view while we drive up this, well, essentially mountain slash coast slash volcano. Heading over to see some coffee. Gotta try some Kona coffee. But so beautiful, so just tropical looking. And yeah, it's amazing to think that here we are in Hawaii. Have you ever heard of Kona coffee? It's one of the most famous coffees in the world. Well, here we're at Greenwell Farms on the island of Kona. Well, the area of Kona on the big island in Hawaii. Here to sample, to learn, to show you what you'd expect, and see what really makes Kona coffee all so special. So let's go have some fun. Let's go figure this out. And let's get drinking. Everybody made it to Greenwell. Huge thanks to our friend Gary. Hooked us up with some Malays. And shout out Gary right here. He's, well, we've called him a transplant, but hey, Hawaiian enough, right? No, that being said, what's really cool about this place while we're waiting for our tour, all these samples of coffee, guys, real Kona coffee. And so if you're not familiar, there's kind of a thing. It says don't buy Kona coffee. You got to get 100% Kona coffee because there's a lot of places you go and they say Kona coffee, but it's like a blend. So it'd be like 10% Kona, 90% not. So this is all 100% grown right here. We're about to do a tour. So let's try all of the coffees. I will say, we may get a little caffeinated here momentarily. All right, first we have the iced coffee, 100% Kona coffee. Honestly, it's good. It's very smooth. They say it is chilled, cold brew, flash brew. Holy smooth coffee. Pretty like, I don't know how to put it, but it's like so smooth that almost the flavor doesn't linger in your mouth. But it's very pleasant. Wow. Yum. Now this is pea berry, which is quoted as a rare and elegant berry with nuanced flavors, abundant natural sweetness, delicate fruit notes. Let's see what it's all about. It's a hot one. Ooh. Very unique flavor. I don't know how to quite place it. But let's try another one. Chocolate macadamia nut. That I'm excited for. Oh my gosh. Okay, it is so hot and burning. It's so good. Oh my gosh, the richness. Almost got like an oily, fatty macadamia nut flavor. That little bit of hints of chocolate. Oh, I think I could drink this all day. The other flavor one's autumn spice. We'll try that one too, but this is a keeper. And as my heart is about to explode, we're gonna try the autumn spice. Ooh, okay, you know what? So I like this, and I'm gonna really compare this to a lot of other autumn spices I've had or seasonal elsewhere. So this has a lovely, lovely note of cloves in it. I get a good hearty punch of like gingerbread. And while like if you go to like Starbucks or even in Kauai when we tried their gingerbread or seasonal coffee, this is truly Christmas in a cup. I'm actually thoroughly impressed with this. But that chocolate macadamia nut, but this is amazing. Either one. I probably will get one more of each. And I will probably have a heart attack, but it is well worth it. Everybody, and my heart is literally about to explode, but these are so damn good. I've had way too many of the coffee, chocolate macadamia nuts. Woo, but it is so good. And here's the prices. So, free to sample them all, free tour. An 8 ounce is $28, a 16 ounce is $52. All you can drink. So what's really interesting is here on the grounds, so this is where they process all the coffee. Obviously they don't grow it all here. There's only 4,000 acres actually in Kona that you can grow coffee and call it Kona coffee. So they'll grow their own, they'll buy others like product that comes here, and people bring it to process here too. So pretty cool.
They were healthy 4 years ago. So they have the beetle that killed that stump, and they have this rust, right? But this rust that's been here 3 years, that's been here 10. So that's what's really doing this. It's thinning out everything. Basically way less branches than you want to see, way less leaves on each branch. So it's we've been able to address this with grafting resistant trees, but that's not really going to help with the beetle, right? So they're going to release this wasp that's supposed to eat up all the beetles, deplete the food source, and then leave us alone. So I'm very nervous. If you don't mind crossing your toes. Okay, so basically the way that we have to function in the belt is different, right? If we are not all protected, none of us are. So this farm does a lot of providing the grafts that we produce to the other farms for free. So that, and also just things like making sure that we keep processing fees low enough, you know, that kind of stuff helps a lot. Okay, so basic economy on a coffee tree. This is gonna fruit over and over. There's no cumulative harvest time for this tree. About every July they begin to ripen down at the bottom, and they ripen uphill until about the end of April up there. So you could plant the same exact coffee tree on both sides and you'll get two totally different results. It's really interesting. That one will come in July, about a little bold flavor wise, soft enough to bite through. It'll be way sweeter up there. It'll break your tooth off, and it'll take like maybe longer than the season sometimes.
Is it because really elevation?
Elevation, conditions, everything. The rainfall. There's a huge difference in rainfall. We run from about 500 feet to 32 here. There's about a 15, I think, inch difference in rainfall. Wow. So it's really interesting. With the small area that we have, we get a lot of different.
And these trees are 120 years old. So this is the processing area. So as you see, that little sorting machine right here is actually sorting them based on the colors using a light system. The rejects are getting thrown into that bucket. And what's really interesting is they'll buy, again, a lot of the produce. what they call cherry coffee, and then it's sorted based on quality and or defects, etc. They process their own coffee, they process other coffee. They want to buy pretty much as much as they can. I guess it's a really busy season and pretty intense because one of these trees, I guess if you're growing your own coffee, you're checking it daily for the bean, and here they check them every 2 weeks to try to get as much as they can on each of the kind of branches, because these trees are self-pollinating. So you'll get like the same, like on the same stick, one bean can be ripe, another not ripe, and you kind of got to continue to check them. And then these are big sheets of coffee. So I guess they kind of ferment the beans and then like to get the fruit off, and then they dry them in this and these systems, this called Hoshidanas, I believe. So those roofs can actually move over the track like that there when it rains. But yeah, basically a process of drying and fermenting, and then they'll further dry them down below in propane dryers. But pretty cool.
Great, and the rollers inside are just attached to this bike chain here. But that's just a huge roller.
So mini sorter, large sorter. And because all the fruit is fermenting, you can smell it. It smells like fermenting stuff, you know what I'm saying? But then apparently when we get over to the roasting area, it smells like roasting. So kind of crazy to think that they kind of go like ferment the coffee, and then they like to get the fruit off, and then they take the end bean product, which is dried, and then brew it. Quite a process. And this is what it looks like. Look at that, guys. We got some fruit and some blonde looking coffee beans. Right now they look like peanuts. But I doubt they taste very good. Maybe we'll find out.
So that rig, you see the big upgrade. The Hoshidana are the same, but that one has carbon.
I will say, tastes kind of nutty. Not delicious, but it does taste better than the raw green coffee bean, which I tried in Kauai. Weird. And here on the farm, they grow mangoes, and we got a big avocado tree. This is where they do all the experimenting with new breeds and different kinds. I guess they grow in these greenhouses a lot of peppercorns, which is pretty fascinating also. But yeah, so a coffee tree takes about 4 years to grow until you are able to essentially, harvest. And the crazy thing is one tree will give you about 1 pound of finished coffee, about 40 pounds of raw product. So think about that. It's a big difference. And after roasted, the coffee goes in these sacks. It's called a super sack that weighs about 1,000 pounds.
So this is a cherry. This is what it looks like cranberry. Some of them are like twice as big as this. Some of them are much smaller. But we'll see if this properly pollinated. And then you can feel what coffee fruit feels like. Feels like expensive snail mask from the Korean beauty store. You ever try that before? Okay. So try to feel that. This is the mucilage layer, so thin, right? You can see why it's not good for long. This is actually would be waterier yesterday. So this is how it feels like a day after. It's perfect. Cool, yeah? So in the dry mill takes off this layer. So this is parchment. The layer under that is silver skin. That needs to be polished off, right? So the polisher is cool because the polisher requires friction, but friction will eventually start to roast the beans, right? So it has to cool it down all the time. So after that, we have a green bean. So a green bean is what we do here, right? So this is basically what you have at the end of the day. So be able to roast this 2 years from now, and it should taste the same as if you roasted it today. So we don't really sell finished roasted coffee here, right? We sell about 20% of our total production in that shop right there and online. Everything else goes out in green bean form. So basically you can kind of think about it like layering flavors, right? This is the control measure. The processing is super consistent. The variety has to be matched with the climate, with the elevation, with the rainfall, and you have to hope the weather happens how you hope. And then, we process it the way we do. Everyone else is in charge of their roasting, their storage, their marketing, the rest of those layers, right? So this is how big it blows up when you roast it, basically, if you guys want to see that.
So the darker, the oilier, but the younger and less oily, the more caffeine?
But so caffeine is only extractable like at super high temperatures. So here you lose about 5% between French and medium.
So that's not too big.
Yeah. So we tell people if you don't have the vacuum container that we use in the shop, you can just close your bag up, wrap all of that in a tea towel, put it all in a Tupperware. So the tea towel will take up the extra air. It also blocks light and soaks up any moisture that might get in there.
So don't hold your coffee in the fridge or freezer.
Yeah.
Vacuum
I
pack
don't have
it.
these problems. I just drink it. Wasting so much. We see a lot of waste come up through there.
So with the self-pollination, you see the different colors and how they're not all ripening evenly, making it complex for harvest. And so here in the company, they have about 80,000 plants. But to give a comparison, I guess a farm in like South America would have about 1.5 to 2 million plants. Kind of going how little, land / how select Kona coffee really is. And then the fences for the, that we're going in right now for the feral pigs. That is a big problem here in Hawaii. And peppercorns. Little baby to adult. So these are all peppercorn trees.
This is actually a vine, right? So we're trellising initially on tree ferns. Also tree
Interesting.
stumps, but check this out.
So peppercorns are vines.
Take it home too. I don't know if you can buy coconut husk online. Coconut husk and a little chicken wire support pole in the middle. Basically, coconut husk doesn't mildew or mold. So you can just keep on shooting this down. It'll absorb moisture, ambient moisture. And if it's dry, we can just wet it down out here.
Cool.
So this is cheap, easy to make, easy to tie onto. So you want to grow these, graft these, because growing these from seed takes years. So they have one back here if you want to see it. This is what it looks like. This poor crab spider keeps getting evicted every day. Actually, he did good today. So this is a graft. Can come and look, this plastic wrap here is around one of these nodes. So that has the potential to root out, right? There's soil propagation material in there. It'll just eventually fill up with enough roots. Here, come on this side. To be spicy. That's Pearl's hair. You can just keep watering that. We use it for making lace. It's spider season. Excuse me, I'm trying not to kill the spider web today. These are the grafts. So basically we make these from seed, right? You can graft onto stuff, you can graft things together. What he's doing is growing this upper Arabica tastier portion and this lower, more stronger rootstock portion from seed. And when they still have the coffee bean on it, like a little bean sprout, he's connecting them together. So he's using a razor blade, basically shaving a V shape into the upper portion and slicing directly down the rootstock. So the razor blade is so thin that it just holds it in. You don't have to tie these or clip it or anything. And then it'll look like that. It will take months and months and months. But then...
And now we're going to try one of these peppercorns. Apparently we're going to get some citrus and minty action, and then followed by smokiness, confusing, pepperish. See what it's all about. Ooh! So at first it was very citrus and fresh.
The live action report of the peppercorn school.
Definitely the live action.
You like it? I mean, too.
You know what? Yeah. And then it fades to black pepper and a surprising amount of heat. Wow. That is delicious because it actually, like, unlike black pepper, which to me gives no spice at all, that gives a little bit of like an orangey, freshy, kind of spicy pepper.
You guys like it? What do you think?
Can I fill my pockets?
Good?
All right, next we have the orangey yellowy one, which apparently is going to be different. That one tastes more just like pepper. And then we have a reddy one, which apparently is a lot hotter and almost tastes like tomato soup. Definitely spicier, right from the note. You don't get the citrus. I don't get any tomato soup,
You could just toss it in there.
but it still tastes good.
He raises pigs. This is all they eat.
Banana
He
tree.
mandolins this like coleslaw. Feeds it to the pigs. They eat it all.
Really?
So because it's a grass, right? They're sharing this rhizome. So really, you don't have to worry about new trees. They're always sending you babies like that. What you have to do is manage the resources of this rhizome. That's all the nutrients they have, right? So this process of forming a bunch takes that one tree 1 full year, give or take. And then you have to take that tree down, or you're gonna forget which one gave you a bunch already. It's never gonna bear fruit again.
Wow.
All it's gonna do is steal resources from your babies. Plus, you gotta keep on feeding your rhizome. So that's what you feed it, right? You chop and drop your banana trees, just pile it right on top.
So you only get one go.
Yeah, so you can Google this for however you make your coffee at home. It's gonna be some version of saturating your grinds with hot water, waiting 30 seconds before you go back in. So I think a lot of your machines are doing this automatically now. You hear it like shut off and then go back on a little later. That's what it's doing. But if you try this side by side with how you normally make it, you'll notice how much smoother and how much more flavor comes out. Try that.
So bloom your coffee.
Don't do it if you don't want to be spoiled, because I was like immediately too good for the trip.
And these are the reject coffees coming out of the sorter. So pretty interesting. And yeah, it smells very fermented. And again, these are the big 100-pound sacks they're getting of coffee from either their own process or the local farmer. All right, and that was pretty much the tour, guys. So that was really cool, really informative. There's a lot that goes into processing coffee. It really, really is. And very interesting, again, like how select. You know, it's kind of like, you know, champagne can only come from like Burgundy or Burgundy, France, or certain wines can only come from certain regions. It's kind of the same with coffee. So Kona coffee only coming from a select area in Kona, believe it or not. But yeah, this was really informative. This was really cool. Long story short, totally gonna grab another sample or two. Woo! I'll just say after those first ones, I was feeling pretty hot. But yeah, guys, this was great. Totally would recommend. Super cool. Again, the tour was free, and I loved it. It took me about an hour, and yeah, I'd recommend. So that, let's go drink the world, eat the world. Goodbye.
Didn't even seem that cold either.
Yeah, probably just because it's so high up. Now, in capacity of like, let's say the coldest weather you'd see, like what would it be like? Beautiful view. Oh yeah, boiled Kona coffee. More coffee. And look at this, guys. Beautiful views. Apparently there's wild goats and wild pigs. We got wild food all over. I like all the wild animals here in Hawaii. Snacks everywhere. The island wants to feed you. Alright, everybody, here we are at the, excuse my pronunciation, sorry, but anyway, this is one of the last, actually it is the last site of its kind in Hawaii and all of Polynesia. The history behind this place is incredibly important to the Hawaiian people, to Polynesians in general. Essentially, let's say you were to commit a crime. The penalty was death. However, if you could get to a site like this, spend the time with I'll call him a priest or like a religious leader for the lack of my proper pronunciation, you could redeem yourself. This is something, again, which is very sacred. I think this is really special. I'm so blessed to be able to come to witness, to see a site like this. Like I said, the last one in all of Polynesia is still standing. Beautiful, by the water, and again, the history here just really, really, really speaks to it. Here is a little bit of information. They call it the Kumaki, the season of the Makahiki ritual. So a season of renewal and rejuvenations. The traditions of the Kua Makiili remind us to reconnect with the cycles of nature, to find balance within ourselves, the lands, the water, and the resources that sustain us. I think it's super, super, super interesting. And then obviously, like we said, this extending into being really a sacred and religious site. So super fascinating. You came here to redeem yourself, to feel the nature, to feel rejuvenated, to revitalize. And let's go see if that is what we experienced today. And look, I mean, obviously Hawaii is all lava rock. In fact, there's apparently only about 12 inches of topsoil on top of lava rock all throughout Kona. Surprising that the coffee grows so well. But this is the first time we really got to see the real volcanic Hawaiian rock. I mean, like in its natural habitat. And now these rock, I don't know if the camera shows them, but these ones right by the water. This rock is so black. It definitely doesn't show on the camera. But like, it is crazy how dark those stones are, even compared to those ones. Wow, this is amazing. Like, it just stands out. Really, I see why this is such a peaceful, sacred place. And really, this place is just tranquil. I mean, look at this. Now this is like, you know, we've seen a lot of rain, but here in the sun, the palm trees, the water, it really does, for lack of a better word, I'd say feel or look like the, I don't know, stereotypical Hawaii, but like in the best way possible. Like, this is what you think of when you think of Hawaii, you know, like this image right behind me. And wow. Beautiful. And now here we're getting to like the real actual site of, I guess, you know, repentance ritual. This is where some of this would be performed, done, perhaps where the kind of religious leader would kind of stay. And super cool, very cool. And again, the true beauty of nature Hawaii. Look how clear this water is. It is just like, you see these yellow bits? Those are little fish. Crazy, literally like glass. Amazing that that's water, you know, a foot or two deep. And this is really cool. This is a game board. You can see kind of where they use the rocks piece, kind of like a checkers or chess. So amazing historic piece. And here we have some structures. Pretty amazing how, you know, they were able to build and how they use just the resources, their abilities and thoughts of the natures, the trees, different grasses to, you know, create long-standing and, you know, just, we'll say resourceful pieces of architecture. And this is, you know, what they would essentially look like on the inside. And, you know, they have everything from their drums for ceremonies, their canoes for navigation, instruments, and all the above. And here we got some bright green geckos sunning. Actually, very pretty colors. Apparently these guys are from Madagascar, so it is an invasive species, such as really a lot of the species that you actually see in Hawaii. Here's another one. I'm gonna see if I can show you the colors on their back. Very, very pretty red. But yeah, they are kind of all over the place, but interesting. Yeah, there you go. Hold on, let's try to. Very pretty red, blue, big fat tails, almost indistinguishable from their body. But yeah, super cool. You know, but that's kind of the problem with Hawaii. A lot of invasive species have gotten here, disrupt the natural ecosystem, and then just thrive because it's warm and beautiful year-round. So this is also the site of the Lono Mikalakahiki, which is kind of like a time of Thanksgiving between October and January. It's kind of like seen as the end of the seasons. This is where some of the ceremonies, which was a kind of thank you to the god Lono, was performed, given, etc. So pretty fascinating, and talk about a very special, beautiful place. And this is a map of the grounds. So the sacred grounds, kind of where we are, where we came in, the Great Wall, different buildings and coves they have here. Amazing. And so here on the Big Island, they have wild goats. Like I said, it's crazy. You get wild pigs, wild goats, wild chickens. I swear, man, you got a gun, some innovation. In Hawaii, you just live off the land. It's like, hey, do you have your rifle? I'm just kidding. And here we are down by a little pierish port thing down the water by the Fairwinds. Go out and jump off and go view some sites like Captain Cook. Guys, but look at that water. This is, they said this is, you need, like, the Hawaii is beautiful, but Hawaii plus the sun is stunning. And here we are heading into actual Kona. A lot more, you know, say buildings, a lot more infrastructure, a lot more developed. And when I say actual Kona, I mean like the downtown, the city, but still beautiful by the water, still people fishing, lots of people trying to grab as much sun, grab as much beach time, and of course, you know, any real estate as you can. There's an open house. I'm sure those are very affordable right there. Totally joking about that, but still beautiful looking up the mountain. It's crazy to think that, you know, these are arguably still active volcanoes. And this is Saturday we're here, so there's a little bit of a farmer's market we'll check out. They got some trinkets, some people selling some produce. I'm curious if it's actually local. See if there's anything interesting, as we are now officially in kind of the downtown Kona, and our ship is directly out there. Where is it? Right there. Right there. I think that's the ship. Cool. And here we have our produce, which they say most of it's grown now, which is pretty cool. We got some cacao. We have some, yeah, we call them rattlans or something? Ramatans. These, I've had these in Mexico. These are delicious. These are some of my favorite. They're kind of like a cousin of lychee. Some, I think those are sour sops, pomegranates, bananas. All these things, again, at least some of it grown here on the island, which ain't too bad. Papayas and taros, big, huge taros. Pretty cool. Here we got some wooden pieces. Obviously, there's, again, like lots of clothing. More fruits. You can buy some sweet papayas for $1 each. Persimmons. I don't know what those are. More jewelry, more papayas, bananas. Very nice. Apparently these are apple bananas, which means there's little. Got strawberry papayas. Apparently super sweet, whatever strawberry papaya is. And we have a apple banana. We're gonna give it a shot. See if I can peel a banana with one hand. So this is something, some people are so awkward about eating bananas and they're like, don't look at me, you know what I mean? That weird thing, but listen guys, it's a banana. You know what it tastes like? A banana. Hello. Good, thanks. Jewelry, clothing, all the stuff. And they're actually having a food truck festival. So this main road is closed off, which is kind of cool. We walked down the middle of it. This is the Queen's Palace right behind us. And that's the old church. Oldest church in Hawaii. So we're officially in the heart of Kona. And here's the oldest church in Hawaii. It is 200 years old. The oldest Christian church, I should say, in Hawaii. They just celebrate 200 years not too long ago. Looks like they also have a preschool here. But yeah, pretty cool. I don't think we can actually go inside, but very nice. And here we have the Wahili Palace, which was built in 1838. This is one of 2 palaces in the United States. If you're not familiar, palaces aren't really a thing in the United States, but this had to do with the kings and the rulers. In fact, it's usually apparently hot and sunny. It's not air conditioning. Pretty cool. And yeah, pretty unique. So this is the big old palace. And just an absolutely gorgeous day. I mean, if this is Hawaii, I see why people love it. And right by the pier here, they have a little beach thing, which is the recommended area. So hey, I trust the recommendation. You can also rent some snorkels and whatever's. We went to the ABC store, of course, got to do that. Fun fact, you want to buy a liter Coke in a bottle? $4.25. You want to buy a 2 liter? $6.59. You want to buy a liter fountain pop? $1.89. Listen, I know it's tourist pricing, but that's a big difference. And here we go, guys. Beautiful view of Kona, getting some sunshine before we head back on the boat. And while we are leaving, here they got an area of the luau. So they're doing a luau here, so they have some kind of different tables are setting up right here. It's pretty cool. Different drinks, beverages, waters and such. And over here, this is the part of the info, I guess. And over here they have, well, let me show you. It's a Puna Beach Resort, the West Inn. Somewhere they do have the great big pigs, like the pork being cooked, some other items as well, different sauces and flavors. And so I'm excited to see if we can see anything. Here they got a lamb tagine gonna be right there. Again, a lot of people just setting up. Here's the beverages kind of behind us. Different culinary artists and culinary features here. And yeah, let's see if we can see anything interesting. Christmas with the chefs. That's what's going on. So lots of stuff and pretty cool. Yeah, it's gonna be quite the event. Here's the pit where the pig usually goes. And so this is the pit where they normally cook the pigs in when they do the luau's and stuff. There's not one there due to the kind of culinary event, but pretty cool. And they got the wood and everything. Normally again, it goes in with banana leaves. Pretty exciting. Unfortunately, I don't get to experience it, but pretty cool. And further seating and kind of, we'll say, individuals getting all set up for the culinary experience. Tables looking very beautiful. They're going to be live music. And just look at this view, everybody. Talk about an excellent view of Kona, the beautiful city, the beautiful big island, and hard to not enjoy. And so only once I was in there did I realize it was totally a ticketed chef special event that is obviously I wasn't supposed to be in there. But anyway, they're setting up for some chef culinary cooking night, but beautiful day in Kona. Now we got some meals. It is Hawaiian themed upstairs in the buffet, so we're heading there, but real quick stop here in the dining room. We have some apparently Thai beef, papaya salad soaked in oil. No, not happening. But feta and watermelon? Is it good? Yeah. I mean, sounds pretty straightforward. Hard to go wrong. Prime rib actually looking delicious. Pork ribs looking interesting. Supposed to be an espresso barbecue sauce. And a marlin pickle crusted. Looks pretty good. Gonna try the marlin, very meaty fish. Not bad. I almost got a little bit of a... Do you get a cheesy flavor from it? Interesting. Yeah, some of the breading reminds me a little cheesy, but not bad. It's one of the herbs. Something. Next, let's try one of the ribs. I mean, it's a braised pork rib. How bad can it be? Try a little sauce. Not bad. I don't get espresso. Just tastes like a cheap barbecue sauce, but not bad. And now we'll try the prime rib first. Let's try the cap. Lots of fat on it.
Sorry.
Not bad.
You can put the water.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Not bad. Try the center. Not the best. Not the worst, but not the best. And at the buffet, they have a poke bar. They have a whole lechon like a pig. They have a whole fruit bar with dragon fruits even. So we're about to get into that. And some really cool fruits tonight. Pineapple, mangoes, papaya, dragon fruit. Dragon fruit? Not very ripe. Let's see, some mango. This looks a pretty unripe mango. Pretty green. Strawberry's good though. Pineapple. Looks like a Maui Gold pineapple. Incredibly sweet. Let's try some of the papaya. Looks great. Yeah, pretty good. And this is my deconstructed poke. Whitefish, tuna, salmon. All my accompaniments. Sweet soy. All those things. Kimchi, wasabi. Probably get some normal soy. Mix it on up. Try some salmon's not bad. Tuna. Not bad. Whitefish. Not bad. I'll mix it with some flavors, but not bad. Maybe some soy. Will soy be nice in it? All mixed up. A little bit of soy. Lots of wasabi. Yeah. Pretty good. And here we have the lechon, a big old pig. And second round of poke, some more pineapple, and a little bit of mango. And I forgot to mention about the big salad. Include pork, broccoli. And the pig tastes okay, but of course, in some sauce. A lot better. I'm gonna try a little more of the pork, give it a second shot. Thank you so much for checking out the video. I really hoped you enjoyed it. Of course, this is the More Joel Hansen channel, where we feature, well, more Joel Hansen. We got travel, we got food, we got all the above. So if you like that stuff, lifestyle, fitness, make sure to subscribe. We also have the original Joel Hansen channel, which features crazy eating endeavors like buffets, food challenges, eating challenges, spicy challenges. We have the Joel Hansen Raw channel as well, which features the uncut version of the raw versions of those challenges. So you really get to hear what goes on, the thoughts, the behind the scenes. So there's no shortage to be had. But thank you so much for subscribing, for your support, and click one of these videos right here, guys. I've got them just for you, and I know you're gonna love them. So with that, thank you so much, and I'll see you in a moment when you click this video.